Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into what is, for a lot of people, the toughest part of the TOEFL, the reading section. This isn't just about surviving it. We're going to give you the tools to really master it.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with why this section is such a challenge. Then we'll get tactical and break down all the question types you'll face. From there, we'll zoom in on the most crucial skill, handling complex sentences, and then pull back for some big-picture test strategies. And to wrap it all up, we'll even take a peek at what's next for the TOEFL.
First things first, let's just get this out of the way. The TOEFL reading section, it's tough. And it's tough on purpose. You're up against these super dense academic-style passages and a clock that just does not stop ticking.
So, if you've ever found yourself staring at a wall of text, feeling the panic rise as that clock ticks down, yeah, you're not alone. That's pretty much the universal experience for anyone taking this test.
All right, so let's look at the numbers. This is the breakdown as of the July 2023 update. You've got two passages, each around 700 words long. And for each passage, you have 10 questions. The catch? You only have 36 minutes for the whole thing. That's about 1.8 minutes per question. And get this, that time includes reading the passage? So yeah, the pressure is on from the moment you start.
Okay, now that we know what we're up against, it's time to talk strategy. And the absolute foundation of any good strategy is knowing your enemy. In this case, the question types. If you can spot them right away, you're already ahead of the game.
Basically, all the questions you'll see fit into two main buckets. The first bucket is huge. It's got most of the questions. These are all about finding facts, figuring out vocabulary, and making logical guesses based on what you read. The second bucket is smaller, with just one big question per passage. This one is all about the big picture. Can you summarize the main points and see how they fit together?
Now, the question you're going to see over and over is the factual information question. Honestly, the best way to think about this is like a scavenger hunt. The question gives you a clue, and you just have to go back into the text and find the exact sentence that has the answer. It's right there, written in plain English.
This is so important. You have to know the difference between what the passage says directly and what it implies. Factual questions are easy to spot. They'll literally say, according to the passage. But inference questions are different. They use words like suggest or infer, and that's your cue to do a little detective work and figure out what the author is hinting at.
Then you have the sentence simplification questions. These are kind of fun, in a brainy way. The test will give you this monster of a sentence, all long and complicated, and you have to pick the answer that says the same exact thing, just simpler. The key is to make sure you don't lose any important details or mix up the meaning along the way.
And last but not least, we have the big one, the complete the summary question. This one's worth more points, so you really want to nail it. They give you 6 sentences, and your job is to pick the 3 that capture the main ideas of the whole passage. The trick is weeding out the options that are just small details. You got to think big picture here.
Okay, so knowing the question types is great, but it's kind of like knowing the rules of a game. To actually win, you need to master the core skill. And in TOEFL reading, that core skill is taking apart those long, complex sentences. If you can do that, you've basically got the key that unlocks the entire section.
And look, they do this on purpose. They pack these sentences with multiple ideas, fancy vocabulary, complicated grammar, all to see if you're ready for college-level texts. But here's the good news. It might look scary, but there's a system for taking them apart. It's a code, and you can learn to crack it.
And here it is, a simple 4-step process that works every time. Step 1, find the main clause. Who is doing what? That's your anchor. Step 2, break it down. Just chop the rest of the sentence into smaller, bite-sized pieces. Step 3, follow the punctuation. Commas, semicolons, they're like road signs, telling you where one idea ends and another begins. And finally, step 4, spot the signal words. Words like but, although, or because are gold. They tell you exactly how all those little pieces relate to each other.
Now, when it comes to those sentence simplification questions, the wrong answers are designed to trick you. So you've got to be on the lookout for these common traps. Does an answer add a new idea? Does it leave something important out? Does it flip cause and effect? Or does it change a maybe to a definitely? If you can spot these traps, you're halfway to the right answer.
Okay, so we've got the nitty-gritty skills down. Now let's zoom out and talk about some bigger picture strategies for test day. These are the things that can really bump up your score.
Here's a huge one. Use the process of elimination. Seriously, don't waste your time searching for the one perfect answer. Instead, your mission should be to find the 3 wrong answers and get rid of them. It's almost always easier to prove an answer is wrong than to prove one is right. Do this and your odds get way, way better.
And this is critical, so listen up. You do not lose points for wrong answers on the TOEFL. So what does that mean? It means you never leave a question blank. Ever. If you're stuck, just cross out the answers you know are wrong and take a guess. It's always better than leaving it empty.
Okay, let's talk about something really cool. So let's say you've taken the test more than once. And on one of those days, you just had a bad day in the reading section and it dragged your whole score down. Well, there's a feature called My Best Scores that's designed for exactly that situation.
It's pretty amazing, actually. ETS looks at all your test attempts from the past 2 years, and it cherry-picks your single best score for each section. Your best reading, your best listening, you get the idea. Then it adds those up to give you a super score. Look at this example. It can take a score like a 97 and boost it all the way up to a 107. That's a huge difference.
It's a really smart feature, right? It shows ETS is trying to adapt. And speaking of adapting, we need to look to the future. Because to be truly ready, you need to know what's coming down the pipeline. And there are some big changes on the horizon for the TOEFL. So, you might remember the test got a bit shorter back in 2023. Well, that was just the beginning. The next big evolution is set for January 21st, 2026. And trust me, this is way more than just a small update.
The game changer here is something called a multi-stage adaptive format. What does that even mean? Well, it means the test is going to react to you in real time. If you're acing the questions, it's going to start giving you harder ones. If you're having a tough time, it'll ease up a bit. It's all about tailoring the test to your specific skill level to get a more accurate score.
And the scoring is getting an upgrade too. You'll still get that classic 0 to 120 score, but they're adding a new 1 to 6 band scale alongside it. Why does this matter to you? Well, this new scale lines up with a big international standard, which basically makes it way easier for universities and for you to understand exactly what your score means.
So when you boil it all down, crushing the TOEFL reading section isn't about some magic trick or memorizing a dictionary. No way. It's about strategy. It's about knowing the test inside and out. We've just given you the blueprint. We've given you the tools. So now, the only real question is, what are you going to build with them?